Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Silent Dragon Yoga. This is a 40-minute session of Hatha Yoga centered around the yogic ethic of santosha, or contentment. We'll also be opening up the back line. If you have a folding chair or a straight chair that's handy, you might pause for a moment and bring that. We'll be using that during the class. If you don't have it, you can adapt. First, we'll do some breathing, and then we'll go into warm-ups and postures. Please take a seat with your spine straight. Come into your breathing, letting your gaze be soft or even closing your eyes. A few breaths here. Bring hands alongside ankles or hips. Inhale as arms reach out. Long inhale, reaching up. Palms meet at the top. Pause for a moment. Exhale down. Inhale up, pull up through pelvic floor. Tip of tongue might come to the roof of the mouth. Everything coming inward and upward. Palms meet. A moment of silence. And exhale down. One more time. Welcome this moment of peace. Let the palms come to the thighs. Come into your regular breathing. Then extend that breathing, coming from navel, up through the heart, through the throat, and back down. Imagine a river flowing through you. Extend that breath from the pelvis up through the crown. Let that river of air, deep and broad, sweep through you. Stay with the current of that river. Then extend your breathing even down into the earth and up towards the sky. This current in the long river of breathing, of body, of time centered right in this moment. This is the source of contentment. Stay with the breathing. We meet wind, we meet rocks, waterfalls. There are many difficulties, but there is refuge in this calm center. Contentment with just being in this moment. It is only from this place of calm that we can bring appropriate action and compassion into the world. Now come back to your regular breathing. Check back in with yourself. Remove any props that are underneath you and put them to the side. We'll come into a tabletop position. Hands are directly under shoulders, weight in the balls of the hands under the fingers, as well as in the heels of the hands, knees directly under hips. Inhale as stomach sinks and sternum rises. Exhale, arch back. 2 more times. Be aware of the curves in your back. The spine is never completely flat. It curves in and out and back in, accompanied by the long muscles that come up on either side of the spine, giving it suppleness and strength, and coming back to neutral. Bring one foot back, push back through the heel. Feel the stretch in the calf. Our calf tends to be used a lot in walking or simply tension. Stretching it out every day helps to lengthen through the back line and be more at ease, more content in your body. Bring that knee back, stretch out through the other foot. Always please come back to the breathing. Breathing the soft breath into those places of tension, up through torso, in and out. And bring it back. Today we'll come to a standing position first. I'd like to bring your attention to the back line. The back line starts in the bottom of the foot, comes up around the heel, up the calf in the back of the lower leg, up the hamstrings in the back of the thigh, then comes together through the sacrum and the pelvic area to these long muscles that come up the back of the spine on either side. 3 muscles long on either side, and then coming up into the neck. Now come to a standing position. Bring your attention to the bottom of your feet. A strong bottom of the foot comes from the middle of the first and second toe back towards the heel. There's your strength, your line of gravity, with some balance from the pinky toe, the small toe back to the heel. Draw up through the calves and the back of the hamstrings, and then we come to the pelvis. Bring your hands to the hip creases of the pelvis and move forward and back, right at the pelvis, forward and back. In normal living, we often stand, sometimes with the pelvis pointing out, sometimes with it coming forward. Our attempt here is to have the hips directly above the knees and the heels. This is helped by drawing up through both the front and the back lines. Another aid in standing up straight is to exercise these muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine, right here. Bring your hands in front of you, palms facing each other. I'm spreading my arms slightly, but my energy is not in my arms. I'm squeezing the muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine. Squeeze in the muscles. This strengthens the back muscles for better posture. One more time. Now bring the thumbs to the bottom of the skull in the back. Just gently lift up, lifting up from this area just below the breastbone or sternum up into the back of the neck. Long. We'll let hands come down. Inhale, knees are straight. Exhale, let knees bend a bit. Inhale up. Exhale, bend knees a bit, soft. Inhale up. And one more time, drawing up through the body. And coming to rest. We're going to do a high lunge now. The right foot comes out in front and the back foot in the back. You might have a more shallow high lunge or a bigger, broader one. Front knee is definitely behind the toes in the front over the ankle. Hips are facing towards the front of the mat. My knee is bent on the back leg and my heel is up. Press down with both feet. Hands can come to heart center or waist, either one. Feel the opening in the front of the hip. We'll take 2 breaths here. Now bring the heel down in the back. So I'm bringing the heel down so that I get a stretch in the calf. 2 more breaths. Raise the heel once again. Bring hands to cactus. So elbows are out from shoulders, elbows at 90 degrees. Feel the opening in the front of the hip. Breathing in the current of the river. Back heel comes down, stretch calf. Hands come to waist and both feet come forward. Let the right foot come back on the toes, heel up, knee bent in the back, knee above ankle in the front, hips towards the front of the mat, hands to heart center. Breathing here, note the opening in the front of the hip. The heel comes down for a stretch in the calf. Heel comes back up, come to cactus arms. Stretch through the front of the hip, knee coming in the direction of the earth. Opening up through the front line, which is so often contracted as we work with our computers or simply sit. And then bring the heel back down, stretching through the calf. The calf is perhaps the only muscle in the back that doesn't get stretched enough. The other muscles in the back tend to be very long. The connective tissue is a little stretched out more than it should be because of this contraction that we often have in the front of our bodies. And coming back up. Now, if you have a chair, I'd like to talk a little bit about sitting in that chair. So bringing your buttocks to the edge of the chair, feet flat on the earth floor. Ideally, your hips are a little bit higher than your knees when you're sitting. So if you think about your computer or simply sitting and reading, if you need to have a pillow underneath your hips, that might relieve your sitting posture a bit. Come back to that feeling of opening from below the breastbone up towards the back of the neck. Drawing up. Also draw up from the navel or below the navel up through the ribs. So we're opening through the front. And as we do that, we're asking more of our back muscles. We need to strengthen through the back. Be aware of those muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine that we just exercised. Are they alert? They don't need to be tense, but just alert through the back. Usually when we come back into the chair, which you might do now, we relax down. The slump asana, the slump posture. You might bring your buttocks farther back into the chair. Let the back of the chair give you some support in the lower spine, the lumbar spine. And sometimes you can put a towel in here for a little more support or a little pillow. And now you can assume that position of opening in the front, strong in the back. Breathe 2 times here. Drawing up through the back of the neck, under the skull. Now come to the edge of the chair one more time. Bring the right heel over onto the left thigh above the knee in a figure 4. In the sacrum area, the sacrum is a triangular bone right here in between the hips. There's a joint with the hips on both sides. As we come over, the hips come around, spread out a little bit away from the sacrum. So first we're going to sit here, pull up, draw up through the spine, inhale. And as you exhale, just bring the middle and top of the back over, letting the sacrum and hips be straight and tight together. Inhale up, exhale over. This time, when you need to, when you get to that point of bending over, relax the sacrum away from the hip bones. So you can feel a spreading out of the hip bones away from this sacrum or tailbone in the back. And let yourself come over just as far as is comfortable. Keep some energy in the abdominal muscles above the pelvis. Inhale back up. Uncross that leg and cross the other one over. Once again, inhale up, exhale over, just far enough that you can keep the tailbone and hips tight together, middle and top of torso, come over and back up. Once more, inhale up, and as you exhale over, first middle and top come over, and as you come farther, you'll feel that relaxation between the tailbone and the hips on both sides. And this is a nice stretch for the lower back. Tuck in the tummy, lift back up. We'll come to a prone position on the mat. Come to a sphinx position with the forearms directly under the shoulders. Press down through hips and the front of feet. Open through waist and chest. Feel the current of energy running down through your whole body. Let body and mind come together in that current. Torso comes down, arms come along the sides with palms up. Inhale, head and shoulders up and down. In the spirit of strengthening the back, we'll do it 3 more times. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Now arms join in for 2 times. Head, shoulders, and arms lifting. Come down. Lift up. Hold for a moment. And come down. Now everything but hips lifts up. Head, shoulders, arms, legs. Just as far as is comfortable for you. And come back down. Inhale back up. Press back through fingertips and toes, forward through crown, and come back down. One last time, lifting everything up, sustain for several breaths here, coming to a place that is right for the body you inhabit. And come down. Now bring the hands so that they are clasped behind you along the buttocks. We're going to give some exercise to hamstrings, which are usually weak and usually a little hard to exercise. Although sometimes you can walk backwards up a hill. That's a good way to exercise your hamstrings. Bring one leg up, bending it and down. Other leg, bend it up and down. One more time. Now, if you'd like to bring both legs up or stay with the single leg, don't strain anything. We only want the discomfort of muscles becoming stronger. We don't want pain. 3 more times, up and back. And chin can be down if you'd like it to be. Up and back. No gripping. Just letting go into that movement and coming down. Now come up so that you are sitting with your buttocks on your heels. If this is hard on your feet, you might have them tucked under like this, or you could have legs extended out in front of you. That would be fine. Bring your hands back behind you, resting on your hands, fingers going towards the back of the mat. Strong through the shoulders, lifting up through the sternum. What sensations do you feel here? What stretches? What muscles are being called into service? Let your mind come down into the body completely. Into the back muscles, the abdominal muscles, and come forward. Now we're going to do a modified camel, coming up onto knees. Bring hands so that they are back behind your sacrum, fingers pointing down, elbows coming towards each other. Inhale, as you open through the waist, sternum rises, gaze goes up just to the seam between the wall and the ceiling, and come back. Inhale, back to that position, opening in the front, strong in the back, and back. Again, you can do this standing as well as on knees if that works better for you. One more time, opening, and coming back. Now we're going to come into a pigeon. If this is hard on your knees, you can do a warrior one in a position like this. If pigeon works for you, bring your right knee towards your right wrist. The calf is diagonal, or perhaps it's under the leg. Either one is fine. Walk the left leg or the long leg in the back, stretch back through that leg. Press down through both legs. Strengthen this middle abdominal area. Bring the hands up around the knee. Open through the front. Emphasis on the strength in the back here. Be content with whatever opening you are having in the front, with whatever strength you bring to this in the back. You are complete, you are enough, right the way you are. One more breath here. And let the head come down for a moment onto the arms in the front. Back into that river of air. Lift up onto your hands and change your legs to the opposite so that your left knee is coming towards the left wrist. The right leg is coming back. Hands come around the knee. Draw the thighs together, some strength in the pelvic and abdominal area. Feel the strength in your back, building gradually, becoming stronger. Gradual opening in the front of the body. Finding the speed of the water in your river that is right for you. One more breath. Come down onto your arms in the front. And then come up into a downward dog, pressing into your hands, bringing feet back, toes tucked, hips rise. Let your knees be quite soft on this first downward dog. Emphasis on lengthening back through the spine. Feel the length through arms, shoulders, back. Perhaps pedal legs as you open up your legs in the back. Slowly letting the arches come partway down towards the mat. Now come forward into plank. Strong through back muscles, abdominals. Firm through shoulders. Energy coming back through the heels for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elbows come in, knees come down. Come down into a brief cobra. Relax down, press through hands. Once again, up through downward dog. Knees soft, press back, hips coming back towards the wall behind you. Only then, bringing the arches down a ways towards the mat. Can you feel the back line? The connective tissue and muscles along the bottom of the feet, around the ankles, up the calves, backs of the thighs, across the buttocks, up along the spine, through the neck, as the crown of the head comes forward towards the thumbs. Come forward into plank. 3, 2, 1. And come down. And remember, plank can always be knees down as well. One last cobra. Back up into a very brief downward dog. Stretch back. And then walk the feet forward and hands back. Run hands up the legs to a standing position. We're going to come into a warrior 2 now. Front foot comes forward, toes pointing towards the front of the mat. The back foot is at 60 degrees. The heel of the front foot in line with the arch of the back foot. Bring your attention to this front knee in particular. It's very easy for it to come in or out. We want it to be coming right towards that second toe. So this strength in the hamstrings and the calves are very important here. Strength through glutes and also, of course, inner thighs. Feel the feet strong from the first and second toe back through the heels, pressing down into the earth. Inhale as hands come to the chest. Exhale as you stretch into the pose of warrior 2. Strong and yet smooth in this contraction. Come back to that calm center. One more breath. Hands come to the waist, feet turn to the opposite direction. Other foot coming forward, finding the place for you. You might have a more shallow warrior 2, and that's perfectly fine. Part of yoga is finding where your body is at with all of these postures. Once again, attention to that knee, coming towards the second toe, strong through the body, strong up the back. Inhale, hands to chest. Exhale, into the pose. Stretch between the fingers. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Let the calm of the earth be part of your contentment. One more breath here. Hands come to waist, feet turn pigeon-toed. Hands come to hip creases, torso comes parallel. Let hands or fingers come down towards the mat or floor. Relax down through the sacrum, letting the hip bones come away from the tailbone, relaxing through lower back, middle back, upper back, and neck. Be like a waterfall, falling down the mountain, coming towards the ocean. Strong through the belly as hands come to waist, torso comes parallel, pause, and then come the rest of the way up. Now come to a sitting position on the mat with legs extended out in front of you. First of all, we're going to point and flex, and point and flex. 2 more times. Feeling again that back line that comes down the bottom of the feet and around the ankles. Bring arms to cactus. For a moment, feel those muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine. Flex them a bit to bring some openness to your chest and elbows. Inhale up through crown, exhale over just a few inches. Inhale up, exhale over, relaxing down, hands come where they will. Relax through sacrum and hips and through the back. Tuck in the tummy for support. Come into that deep place in the heart. Inhale back up. And we'll come to a lying position on the mat. Take a nice long stretch. Bring a hand around one waist and let that foot come down on one side. And then the other hand around wrist, bringing the arm up and the foot down. Then bring both feet to the mat below the buttocks a few inches. Press the soles of feet into the earth. We're coming up into bridge as shoulders tuck, arms are firm, hands might clasp underneath the buttocks rises. And come back down. We'll do it one more time for a longer time. Lifting up, pushing down through tops of arms and soles of feet, tucking shoulders, hands clasping under the buttocks. Front of body open to the sky. Back of body strengthening hamstrings, glutes, spinal muscles. Let belly rise and fall with your breath. One more breath. And come down. Bring one foot up with the knee bent. Bring the hand to the arch of the foot. The knee is coming towards the armpit. You might call this half a happy baby. So we're only half happy at the moment. Now bring the hands so that they are just behind the thigh, just above the hip, the knee, and push up and come down with the knee coming towards the armpit. Then giving a little resistance with the hands, push up with the foot, come back. One more time, pushing up and coming back. Bring that foot down and bring the other foot up into happy baby. Knee comes towards the armpit, and in this case, hands are behind the thigh just above the knee. Push up with the foot going towards the ceiling, a little bit of resistance from the hands, and coming back down towards the armpit. Push up once again, down, and up, and down. Come into a full happy baby with hands on arches or the outsides of feet, knees coming towards the armpits. Relax down through the lower back, the neck, and the shoulders. We'll come into a Shavasana resting pose now for a few minutes. You can let your legs be extended out as usual. If you have a chair, you might go to the chair and bring your legs up onto the chair or bring the chair onto the mat. Bring the calves and feet up onto the chair or simply extend legs out as you usually do. Find a place of rest. A place where you can fully be this river of contentment, mind and body, all one, flowing with the world. Relax down through the top of the head, down the back of the skull, back sides of the neck. Soften down the long muscles along the spine, top, middle, and lower back. Relax through pelvis, hamstrings, calves, ankles, bottoms of the feet, open to the world. Lengthen your breathing and bring some movement to fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Bring your knees up to your chest and give yourself a hug. Offer compassion to yourself. This is where compassion starts. And then offering compassion to all beings in the world. Roll over onto the side and come up to a brief sitting position before we end. Hands come to heart center. May we be safe. May we be spacious. May we be content in this body, this moment. May we share this peace with everyone around us. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. It was lovely to be with you. And perhaps I'll see you again on another Silent Dragon Yoga video.